The year is 2022. A courtroom in Fairfax, Virginia becomes the center of the digital universe. The verdict is read, the internet explodes, and one of the most divisive chapters in pop culture history seemingly comes to a close. Amber Heard moves to Spain, Johnny Depp returns to the stage, and the world, exhausted by the vitriol, tries to look away. But cut to early 2026, the snowy peaks of Park City, Utah, the Sundance Festival. Suddenly, the cameras aren't looking at the indie darlings or the Oscar frontrunners. They're focused on a single woman walking toward a microphone. Amber Heard is back, and this time, she isn't just a witness. She's the centerpiece of a documentary that's sending shockwaves through the legal and entertainment industries. The documentary is called Silenced. It's a haunting look at how defamation laws are being used as tactical weapons in a post-MeToo world. But while the film covers global cases, from Australia to Colombia, the world only cares about one thing: Amber's first major public comments on the weaponization of the law since she settled with Johnny Depp 4 years ago. The headlines are already screaming: Amber's veiled attack, the war reunited, shocking words at Sundance. Is this a survivor finally finding her voice? Or is it a calculated move to reignite a fire that nearly burned Hollywood to the ground? Tonight, we're breaking down the 2026 resurgence of Heard versus Depp. We're looking at the explosive footage from Sundance, the hidden meanings behind Amber's words, and the terrifying reality of how a 4-year court case is still the ultimate clickbait goldmine. The peace treaty is officially over. The war is back. Phase 1, the Silenced premiere. To understand why 2026 feels like 2022 all over again, we have to look at the film itself. Silenced, directed by Selena Miles, isn't a Johnny Depp takedown movie, at least not on paper. It's an intellectual, heavy-hitting documentary about the chilling effect of defamation laws. It features human rights lawyer Jennifer Robinson and Australian activist Brittany Higgins. But the moment Amber Heard appeared on screen at the premiere, the atmosphere changed. This wasn't the Aquaman star we saw in the courtroom. This was a woman who looked, as one critic put it, spiritually exhausted but legally emboldened. The shocking words everyone is talking about come from a specific segment where Amber discusses the death of free speech for those without a billion-dollar bank account. "I have lost my ability to speak," Amber tells the camera in the film. "I am not here to tell my story. I don't want to tell my story anymore because the system has made the cost of telling the truth higher than the cost of a lie." To the casual observer, it's a statement about the legal system, but to the Johnny Heard ecosystem, it was a tactical strike. Within minutes of the screening, social media was flooded. The Team Johnny camp immediately branded it a violation of the spirit of their 2022 settlement. The Team Amber camp saw it as a heroic return to the front lines. The controversy lies in the veiled attack. Amber never mentions Johnny Depp's name in her 2026 Sundance appearances. She doesn't have to. Every word about wealthy men weaponizing the courts is being interpreted by the public as a direct reference to the Virginia trial. By speaking about defamation as a muzzle, she's effectively turned her legal loss into a socio-political crusade. Phase 2. The digital battleground reignited. If you thought the TikTok law era of 2022 was over, the 2026 Sundance Festival proved us all wrong. Within 24 hours of Amber's appearance, the Team Johnny versus Team Amber war didn't just resume, it evolved. Clickbait outlets have found a new way to monetize the trauma. In 2022, it was about trial highlights. In 2026, it's about the hidden message. YouTube is currently flooded with body language experts analyzing Amber's Sundance interviews, why she won't look at the camera, the secret meaning behind her choice of jewelry. It's a circus of speculation. But why now? Why does a documentary about defamation laws in 2026 have more engagement than the latest Marvel trailer? Because the Heard versus Depp saga is the ultimate Rorschach test for the modern age. For the Depp loyalists, Amber's return is seen as a grift. They point to the 2022 settlement where she paid $1 million to Depp, money he notably donated to charity, as proof that the case is closed. To them, her participation in Silenced is an attempt to rewrite history and play the victim one last time. For her supporters, 2026 is the year of vindication. They're using the documentary to highlight the UK trial, where a judge found the wife-beater claims to be substantially true, contrasting it with the US trial that went the other way. The weaponization of law Amber spoke about at Sundance has become the new rallying cry. It's no longer about who hit whom. In 2026, the debate has shifted to, can a woman ever speak up if her ex-husband has more power? And is Amber Heard using the Me Too movement as a shield for her own actions? The comment sections are a disaster zone. On one side, you have the Justice for Johnny hashtags trending alongside Ebenezer News. On the other, Amber was right is seeing a massive surge among Gen Z activists who were too young to follow the trial in 2022, but are now discovering the online smear theories presented in the Silenced documentary. Phase 3, the media's clickbait goldmine. Let's be real. The media loves that Amber Heard is at Sundance. In a year where news cycles are dominated by AI and political instability, the Depp-Heard resurgence is a guaranteed traffic driver. Outlets like Page Six and Variety are framing her Sundance appearance as a rare comment on the trial, but the smaller rage bait channels are going much further. They're framing it as a threat to Johnny's 2026 comeback. Is Amber Heard trying to ruin Johnny's Scrooge, the Sundance secret that could halt production? None of this is based on legal fact. Amber isn't filing new lawsuits, and the documentary was filmed over years, but the perception of a war is what sells. The most controversial part of Sundance was Amber's interview with the Variety studio. She spoke about the avalanche of online hate she received, mentioning that even her daughter's birth was met with death threats and doxing. This reframing of the narrative, moving the focus from the evidence to the online mob, is the 2026 strategy. By focusing on the online weaponization, Amber is essentially indicting the very audience that's watching the clickbait videos. It's a meta-narrative that is driving people crazy. Are you part of the mob she's talking about, or are you a seeker of truth? The documentary Silenced claims that Amber was systematically targeted by fake accounts and trolls. If this is true, it changes the entire context of the 2022 jury decision. If it's false, it's the ultimate gaslighting attempt in Hollywood history. Either way, it's 1 million views per video for anyone who talks about it. The verdict: no escape from the past. As the Sundance Film Festival closes its doors and Silence prepares for a global streaming release, the Heard versus Depp resurgence proves one thing: some stories never die, they just wait for the right hook. Amber Heard's return isn't just about a movie, it's about the fact that in 2026, we are still obsessed with the wreckage of their relationship. We're watching two people who have tried to move on, one to Spain with her 3 children, one to London with a high-stakes film career, be dragged back into the arena by a media machine that refuses to let go. The shocking words at Sundance weren't actually that shocking if you've been paying attention. Amber has been saying these things for years. What is shocking is how quickly the world snapped back into battle positions. Is this the final war of Depp and Heard? Or is this just the new normal? A world where every move they make for the rest of their lives will be viewed through the lens of a 6-week trial in Virginia. Johnny is fighting for his final stand as an actor. Amber is fighting for her final word as a survivor, and the rest of us, we're stuck in the middle of a clickbait storm that shows no signs of clearing. The weaponization of the law is the topic of the documentary, but the weaponization of the news is what we're seeing in real time. Whether you're Team Johnny or Team Amber, one thing is certain: 2026 is the year the ghosts of the past finally came home to roost.